Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Front Mission 5, Scars of the War. I did go back and grab the grapple. As you can see, I'm not actually using it at the moment. The reason for that is I'm still trying to decide on what direction I want to go in terms of my upgrade path with it. As many of you may know, there are a number of different upgrade paths that every model in the game can use. And the grapple, I believe, has 5 of them. Right now, I am looking at probably going with the grapple FS. Yeah, it is a model that, so basically you have, on the one hand, you can go for the grapple F, which is like the most lightweight version of the grapple, which is really strong in terms of like it's it's just like it's lightweight and so that means that, you know, it has certain advantages in that regard because you can put more things on it, and that, like, you could maybe put a what would you say, you could put like 2 heavy weapons, or you could put like a jammer backpack on it or something like that, or even a repair backpack. And on the other extreme, you have like the grapple X2, which is the most heavyweight, and it actually heavily sacrifices its evasion stat in favor of having a very high HP. And then in the middle, you just have the vanilla grapple, which, you know, it gives you a little bit of an evasion, or sorry, it gives you no evasion penalty, and it gives you a set bonus high defense. And I think what I might go for, as I said, is the grapple FS, which is in between the vanilla grapple and the grapple F. Because what it does is it gives you a defense bonus as a set bonus, as well as being fairly lightweight and having fairly high HP. But there are some difficulties in trying to consider, you know, what is really the best part to use in the game. Those of you who are familiar with, say, Diablo 3, which is another very heavily stat-based game, are probably aware of, like, the way in which they have their basic stats in the game, like, you know, crit chance, crit damage multiplier, your hit points, and then your defense and all that, or sorry, your armor, all that kind of thing. And what the game does is it aggregates those values into higher order abstractions that sort of convey to the player a general sense of, you know, how, like, relatively how good these parts are going to be for you. Because the values that you're dealing with are very complex and their interactions are very complex. Like, for instance, you know, what is the relative value of trading armor for damage reduction, or trading armor for evasion? These kind of things are not, like, it's not immediately obvious what the relative merit of these things are. And generally speaking, I think, like, except for the players who are really at the top rank of the game, who are, like, you know, really crunching numbers in spreadsheets and trying to min-max things, I think that most players just kind of look for a rule of thumb. So, for example, evasion is better than damage reduction is better than armor, right? So like just prioritize A, then B, then C. That's sort of like the crude way that I think a lot of players play, just because it's more fun that way. You don't have to spend time in Excel or in LibreOffice Calc, you know, sitting there inputting data into tables and then like, you know, doing various graphs and that kind of thing to try to determine what is your best possible build. That's really something that only happens at the very, very high end of play. But what I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to make a video about Diablo 3, you know, I'm just a casual Diablo 3 player. What I am trying to say, though, is that Front Mission 5 is really not very good about conveying those sort of higher order abstractions. Like, it's not going to tell you by trading this much evasion for this much defense, or by trading this much evasion for this much HP, you will be better off, or you'll be better off by generally this much. And so it makes it, like, honestly, when I was playing these games when I was younger, I didn't really care about this stuff that much. I was mostly just like, let's make a cool looking Wanzer, I'm sorry. And if it doesn't work out, you know, I'll just like grind out some more levels and then go and do the next battle. But I think that one thing that like Let's Plays and sort of the move of gaming onto the internet in a way that, you know, didn't exist, say, 10 years ago, I think what their effect has been is to make players much, much more conscious about min-maxing, about stats, about optimizing their strategies, because, you know, like, if you ask somebody who plays guitar, they'll tell you that, like, the baseline level of guitar players has increased enormously over the last however many years, because of the sharing of knowledge that's possible through YouTube and through other sort of, like Web 2.0, Web 3.0 technologies. And I think that when it comes to a game like Front Mission, in the past I was like, yeah, you know, just trying to generally get it right and not really worry about it too much. But like, I think all these games, like, say, like, you know, Dark Souls or you know, like, just anything that's played seriously online, like Europa Universalis 4 or something like that, they just condition you by watching these videos and these Let's Plays to be so much more focused on stats, and that is really not a characteristic of the era that Front Mission 5 came out of. So my big point about this was that I was thinking about creating a program that would produce higher order abstractions like the ones that you find in Diablo 3 for Front Mission 5. But I'm not really sure if I'll actually do it. It doesn't sound like, you know, you guys, like the audience, are really that keen on the idea, and it would be quite a bit of work. So I might just kind of play for fun and just sort of buck the trend of the way I feel like gaming has gone in the last few years, certainly, and, you know, see how things turn out. Anyhow, let me know what you think about all this stuff. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately. But yeah, I do really want to use the grapple, and I am going to probably use it starting in Act 2 once I figure things out, because I think it looks super cool. I love this, like, blocky look to it. It's just like, let's produce, like, a Vonser with the largest surface area possible that can't do, like, any deflection of bullets at all, because it's just like this big flat block. It's just like saying, come at me, bro, in a Vonser design. And I also like it because it reminds me of the Purple Haze unit from Front Mission 3, which for some reason is one of the things about that game that really stand out for me from my childhood memories. So I definitely want to use the grapple, even though I think that the Numsakar, which is the other USN striker unit, or model is also really cool. But for this battle, I'm going to go with something a little bit more vanilla. Okay, well, that's enough sort of like meta discussion. Let's move on to talking about what's actually going on for me right now in the game. Walter, I haven't really upgraded him very much at all. I think I might have bought a better shotgun for him, but I don't think that's correct. No. Excuse me. I didn't do too much for Walter since the last mission. Randy, I believe I also didn't do very much for him. However, starting with Damon, I did upgrade his body, and I also upgraded one of his missile launchers up to rank 4, you know, by purchasing a new part, not by using RP. Jamie, I spent a lot of cash on Jamie. I got him sorry, he already had the Rexon body, but I also got him some legs. Frost legs, which I think are really, really useful for him, because, you know, he doesn't quite have the range that Damon has, so there's extra that extra distance that he can move is incredibly valuable for him. And I also upgraded his rifle up to rank 4, and I think that makes quite a bit of difference as well. Christine, I got her this giant club. It is really badass. Huge damage on this thing. And oh yeah, I should mention that I also upgraded Jamie's backpack because he didn't quite have enough you know, weight to power available in order to equip the upgraded rifle with the frost legs. And then we have Jim in the Whisk. It's kind of a strange name. Maybe it'll say something about why it's called that when we take a look at it in the sponsor roundup. Yeah, I didn't do anything for him. He just is, you know, what he is. Yep. That's the situation there. And then if we look at our pilots, Walter, same deal. Randy, I gave him Assault Link L, so he can now link with his machine gun. And I also gave him Terror Shot 1, which, you know, is just good because it reduces enemy evasion. So very useful, especially in links. Especially because Randy generally cannot attack twice with his weapon in his attack. So if you get a terror shot out on the first attack, it isn't necessarily useful if just Randy's fighting. But when you're talking about it, like within the context of a link, it can be quite useful for, you know, say, making sure that your gunner gets a hit in. Damon, he now has MS Burst. That increases his damage by 1.2, I believe. Or, yeah, it's 20%. Yeah, I should say 1.2 times, not 1.2. I also gave him AP charge +1. That just gives him plus, you know, +1 AP when his turn ends. And then the AP cost is set to 0. This occasionally triggers, and it's just like, yeah, you get a missile shot out for free. And you might wonder, why is that useful? Well, it can carry on into being able to move more the next round or something like that. Nothing new for Jamie. Christine, I believe, already had Striker Link L. And Jim, I gave him the Assault Link L skill. Feint, which... There we are, Feint. It multiplies your evasion by 1.5. You know, not always, but if it does trigger, it's pretty nice. And Terror Shot. So again, lowers enemies' evasion by half. You know, just putting it on many characters, because that increases the probability that you're going to get one somewhere in the course of a link. Okay, so that is it for that discussion. Except for one thing I wanted to mention. You know what? I might come back to this. I did want to talk about the damage reduction system in this game and how it's kind of funky. Like, basically, like, how your defense determines your damage reduction. But yeah, I'll come back to that in another video because I've already gone long enough about all the game system stuff before we actually get to the fight in. Oh, and I also did one simulation mission in between these videos, so I got a couple more levels. Let's move out. Sortie. I might regret saying this, but I do kind of like this level. Kind of like this map. Nice epic music. Right. Daemon. So one thing to note about Daemon, or about launchers when they're paired with the jammers, it means that they... actually, his range is really bad, so let's put... they work to greatly extend the range of your launchers because they have a radius around them. Yeah, they can extend missile range. There you go. He just, he just came out and said it. It's the truth. This is not an intelligent man we are dealing with. Walter might kind of sound like an asshole there, but actually, I don't know. The line, if you're saying, like, in Japanese, like, omae wa hontou ni baka da na, or something like that, it's not as insulting as you really are stupid. But kind of hard to render it otherwise. We will shortly get to see the ability of the jammer to extend the launcher's range. Why did I put her back there? That's kind of stupid. So we got some strikers to deal with to begin with. I really like how this level looks upscaled, like especially this building here. Kind of looks like something you might see in City Skylines, which is an amazing game. Certainly has its fair share of issues, but that does not stop it from being excellent. Alright, so of course what we want to do here, if possible, is to draw one of these enemies towards our traps. So I will attempt to do that. 69%. Sure. Can't go wrong. I think the Frost body and legs look really cool with the Rex and arms. Jamie's ride is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. What are you doing, man? That's so weird. I thought for sure they would come after me. I think they went after me the last time I played this mission. Okay. Well, this certainly changes the situation. Well, that is... I can't quite reach that trap, unfortunately, and these ones aren't going to do anything for me. Let's just give me a moment here. Yeah, I believe there's no bonus for doing this mission fast, so I think I can't afford to wait them out. I'm really not comfortable with rushing through those traps to get to the enemy. So I'm just gonna take up a nice defensive position here. Oh. Oh, okay. Decide to come back. Is that... I think it's 2 hexes away, right? So this should hit them? Let's give it a try. Yep. Oh, that hit Walter too. I guess it's 3 hexes away, but... Or, no, that was just from the helicopter, I think. Gee. Alright. Let's get Randy in there. Or, no, that's really stupid. Let's not do that. Terror shot's paying off. So you can see he shot like straight up there. That means that his range is being extended by the jammer. Come on. Oh, you're done now, buddy. So naturally, I am going to want to go after this helicopter with my gunner. But I'm going to move my striker first because that positioning is kind of dodgy. I think she'll be okay here. Nice. Oh, I used the wrong weapon. Not thinking. So Randy is just going to repair. Walter's pretty beat up. Not anymore. And get Jim to come in here. And now you can see that Damon can hit this scintilla. Oh yeah. Nice. Oh, come on. Accuracy. Gotta increase that accuracy. Gotta do something about that. So, where is that helicopter? Here. Nice, double hella hunt. Okay, this time let's do this right. No, I don't want to do that. It's not right at all. Let's move there. Man, that evasion. Okay. So obviously we need to heal up Christine. She is in bad shape. Okay. Can't quite reach the helicopter with Damon. Seems like a good chance to reload. That frost body sure holds up a lot better than Rexen one. Okay. Now here I was thinking that the enemies didn't go after those. I'd never seen them go after one of those before. Well, at least I'm not dead. My parts are still in order. Working order. This guy's getting worn down. Alright. I think destroying this will hit both of these enemies. Is that correct? Let's see what happens. I'm gonna get everybody out of the way first. Get Randy over here so he can make some repairs. Yeah, kind of sorry to see her not be able to do any damage this round, but I think it's going to be worth it. Let's make sure Damon's able to hit that thing. No, he's not. Can hit this one, though. So if I get Walter out of the way... switch him over to the Raptor. Let's go for it. So that's good though. That means that I wouldn't have been able to get them. Alright, so how about we make use of some of Jim's abilities here. Oh, come on. Took a gamble and it didn't pay off. Ah. It's a classic use of a link there. So what you can do with the jammer is either prevent the enemies from attacking or prevent them from moving. If you're familiar with FFT, it's basically the equivalent of using don't act and don't move. So yeah, they're pretty strong. I'm just trying to consider what the likelihood is of the enemy fleeing the battle. Because in that case, if he tries to flee, it would be better to use a don't move or move down. But I think I'm gonna go with attack down. There we go. You are useless now. I'm gonna see if I can hit this enemy here. Oh yeah. That's sweet. Okay, so we are now up against the main force of enemies. I think they're moving against us now. I'm gonna move up here and then go after this. Should make short work of this guy. Bye. Who's the lowest on life here? Yes, that would be Walter. So let's move Walter up here. I think he can attack anything. No. And then we'll heal him up. Got no AP, he spent so much moving. So this is a launcher unit, and what that means is that we want to kill it as soon as we can, because it's weak and does a lot of damage. Glass cannon kind of thing. Should I rush him down? I don't think so. It's tempting, but I don't think it's a good idea. And these guys... Maybe we can take some of them out before they can link up with the other enemies. Kind of what I'm hoping here. Oh, crap. I misinterpreted what was going on there. And hey, Walter still did something cool. Walter is just that awesome. Everybody keeps saying he's awesome, but it's really true. Alright. Enough messing around. We are in a bad spot. That should be obvious enough. It's time to deploy the traps. Oh, come on. I was hoping she would be covered there, but she wasn't. Now, oh, you're over here, so it's time for you to die. You need to die. Post haste. I was hoping Randy would soak some damage. Ooh, that was lucky. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Hurts. Wow, those links. Woohoo, and now our legs are gone. Well, that's embarrassing. Can't just click through things in a strategy game. Should be completely obvious, but something I apparently never learned. You gotta go heal her. She's not gonna be doing anything. Not when she's surrounded on 3 sides with a bunch of guys who are linked. That is not a good time. Get me this time. Randy! Well, that's no good. I have really screwed up this mission. I have to say, I have really screwed up this mission. Do nothing and die, or do something and die. Those are kind of her options, it's looking like. I think what I will do with her... Oh, I can't move there. Crap. Alright, it's time for the kamikaze. Did for the team. Yeah. Damn. Well, that didn't go so badly. Could have been worse. Alright, you lost your weapon. Well, that makes that an easy decision then, doesn't it? I think we're gonna lose. Yeah, we're done. This is it. Yeah, I'm not gonna play this out. Alright. So, what can we say about that? Oh, sorry about that. What can we say about that? Well, the obvious problem with my strategy, or lack thereof, was to go charging into the middle of a two-sided ambush where I was outnumbered. Yeah. So, next time I do this mission, I think I will obviously play more cautiously, but also try to make sure I don't aggro both groups of enemies at the same time, if possible. I think that's like the real problem I ran into there. Just being massively outnumbered. Spreading my damage out too much, not getting enough common links in. I think that the spacing across that intersection is really important. One of my biggest mistakes was to send Christine across the intersection. Instead, I think I need to find some way to get some distance between me and my enemy. Like, even if those two groups of enemies had had combined and formed like a big pack, coming down that lane against me, at the very least, I could probably try to space them out a little bit. And I may want to avoid blowing up the traps too early, as they still could be useful in like getting some big hits on the enemies if I can funnel them down into that road. So yeah, the last time I did that mission, it was really not that difficult for me at all. But things really didn't work out that time. Obviously, everybody getting killed. Randy getting killed is huge because then you lose your healing capacity, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that's going to do it for this episode. And I think I will do another one soon. and then after that I will do another roundup. So stick with me, despite my lack of strategy and skill. See you next time.